Hey everyone! For English today, we're going to be looking at adjectives and adverbs. This is pretty much reviewing what we've been working on so far this week, but you're going to be looking at adjectives and adverbs that are in the same sentence and needing to distinguish which one is which. So to start off with, we need to know what is the difference between an adjective and an adverb. An adjective is a word that describes a noun. So it's going to be important to look at what word is it telling us more about. Adjectives tell what kind or how many. Adjectives may be written before the noun they describe or after a linking verb. So in this sentence here, the tiny baby slept in the crib. We've got a couple of nouns. We have baby. So what words in this sentence tell us more about the baby? Well, tiny tells us how big the baby is, and then the tells us which baby. Not the one over there, not the one over there, but this one, the baby. And then we've got the word crib here, and we have the telling us which crib. So we have three adjectives in this sentence. Then we have this one, the air is smoky. Well, we've got the noun air. We have a linking verb, am, is, are, was, were. Those are linking verbs, am, is, are, was, were. So after the linking verb, we have this word smoky. And smoky is describing the air. It's telling us what the air is like. So smoky is a predicate adjective. Now adverbs, they describe verbs. They can tell how, when, or where something happens. So you're going to need to look for the word that shows action in the sentence, and then look for what words tell us more about that action. Most adverbs that tell how will end in ly. Adverbs are not always written near the verbs they describe. It can be anywhere in the sentence. So in the sentence, the car sped noisily around the track. We need to find the verb. Well, the verb is sped. Ed word, that's what the car is doing, sped. And we want to see how did the car speed? Well, noisily, telling us about the verb. Notice it ends in ly. Tonight the winner will celebrate his victory. Our verb is will celebrate. Well, when will he celebrate? Tonight. See, this adverb was all the way at the beginning of the sentence, but it's telling us more information about the verb will celebrate. It's telling us when he will celebrate. So if you'll take your work page and go to page 243, let's work through our guided practice together. So for the first section, we need to decide whether each underlined word is an adjective or an adverb, and we're going to fill in the circle underneath to show the correct answer. So for number one, her new folder is on the desk. Well, we look at the word new, and we want to see what word is new describing. Well, new describes folder. Tells us what kind of folder. Well, is folder a noun or a verb? Folder's a noun, it's a thing. And words that describe nouns are called adjectives. So new is an adjective. For number two, Jane bought it yesterday at the store. Okay, what is yesterday telling us more about? Well, it's telling us when she bought it. Bought, it's describing bought. When? When did she buy it? Yesterday. Well, words that describe verbs like bought, something you can do, are called adverbs. Then number three says, the folder is purple. Well, what is purple describing? Purple is describing the folder. It's telling us more about the folder. And folder is a noun. That means purple is an adjective for number three. Number four, Raymond sometimes eats 2 sandwiches for lunch. The direction for this section says to underline one adjective and circle one adverb in each sentence. So let's look through here and find our adjective first. Okay, we have the noun Raymond, but I don't see anything describing him. We have the noun sandwich. Oh, look right here. We can see a word that tells us more information about the sandwich. It tells us how many. So 2 would be our adjective. Then we find our verb, eats. Well, when does Raymond eat? Well, he eats sometimes. So we've got 2 as our adjective and sometimes as our adverb. Number 5, yesterday his sandwich was big. Well, when was his sandwich big? Yesterday, that would be our adverb. And what does his sandwich look like? It's big. It's big, a predicate adjective. So we underline big and we circle yesterday. Number 6, his kind sister quickly packed their lunches. Well, what kind of sister does he have? He has a kind one. So kind needs to be underlined as your adjective. And then how does she pack their lunches? She packs them quickly. Quickly would be the adverb describing packs. Circle quickly. Number 7, Raymond carefully pours hot soup into bowls. Well, finding our adjective, we can see there's something telling us what kind of soup. It's hot soup. So underline hot. And then how does he pour his soup? He pours it carefully. So circle carefully. Then for number 8, we're going to diagram this sentence. The 3 kittens purr softly. Well, we got to find our subject, who or what the sentence is about, which would be kittens. And then what do the kittens do? What's our verb? Purr. Then let's look for the 2 adjectives that describe kittens. Well, we have the kitten and we have 3 kittens. And then the word that describes how they purr would be softly. So remember, adjectives go underneath the word they're describing, and then adverbs go underneath the verb it's describing. Okay, now you're going to work on the back of that page and complete it doing the same exact steps, being very careful to look for what is the word describing so you know whether it's an adjective or an adverb. Now, as we move on to reading class today, we are not going to be reading anything in our reading book. You're just going to be working on your workbook page. Okay, we're going to be looking at family trees. Now, earlier this year, we read a story about Abraham Lincoln. We read a biography about him. And today we're going to be looking at his family tree. Now, here on this family tree, we've got Abraham Lincoln and his wife, Mary Todd, right here in the middle. And everybody who comes after him would have been his children, his descendants. And then everybody who came before him is going to be his ancestors, his grandparents and his parents. And then you could keep going way back, and his great and his great and his great and great and great and great. So if you'll open in your workbook to page 225, I'm going to help you answer some questions here and see if this time this family tree will help us to be able to answer those questions. So it says here to conduct an online keyword search of Abraham Lincoln family tree. I've done that for you right here on the screen. Select a family tree that shows at least 4 generations, beginning with Abraham Lincoln's grandfather, who's also named Abraham Lincoln. The family tree will need to include the date of birth and date of death for each family member. And that's what we've got here. This is his grandfather, Abraham Lincoln, and we've got his birth and his death all the way down to him, and then forward a few more generations. So complete each statement using the information from Abraham Lincoln's family tree. In what year was Lincoln's grandfather, Abraham Lincoln, born? Well, we start here. This is our Abraham Lincoln who was president. This is his father. This is his father's father, his grandfather. And his grandfather was born in 1744. So that would be your answer to number 1. Number 2, how old was Lincoln's grandfather when he died? Well, he lived from 1744 to 1786. So you're going to need to do some subtraction here. And we can do 86 minus 44. 6 minus 4 is 2. And 8 minus 4 is 4. So he was 42 years old when he died. Who was older, Lincoln's grandfather or his grandmother? Well, let's look and see who was born first. Here's his grandmother, and here's his grandfather. Grandfather was born in 1744. His grandmother was born in 1742. So who was born first? She was. So his grandmother was born first. She was the oldest. Bathsheba Herring. Number 4. How many years older was this grandparent than the other grandparent? Well, she was 2 years older. 44, 42, 2 years older. What was her name? Bathsheba Herring. Number 6. How many years did Lincoln's grandmother live after the death of her husband? Okay, her husband died in 1786, but she lived until 1836. So we're going to do a little bit of subtraction. Well, 6 minus 6 would be 0. And then we're going to have to borrow. So we've got 13 minus 8. 13 minus 8 is going to be 5. So she lived for 50 more years. Then, number 8. What were the names of Lincoln's grandparents? or what were the names of Lincoln's parents? I'm sorry, for number 8. Well, Lincoln's parents were Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks. Number 9, in what year was Abraham Lincoln born? He was born in 1809. Whom did Abraham Lincoln marry? He married Mary Todd. In what year was Lincoln's wife born? She was born in 1818. How many children did Abraham Lincoln and his wife have? Well, we go down here to the next generation, and we see there are 4 people. How many girls and how many boys did Abraham Lincoln have? We've got Robert, Edward, William, and Thomas. He only had sons. He had 4 sons and no daughters. How old was Edward Baker Lincoln when he died? Well, here's Edward Baker Lincoln, born in 1846. He died in 1850. So he only lived to be 4 years old. And how old was Abraham Lincoln when he died? He was born in 1809 and he died in 1865. So we're going to see what's the difference between 65 and 9. And we're going to see that he lived to be 56 years old. 56 years old. Okay, now you're going to turn to the back of this work page and I'm going to let you work on some independent work. But you're going to need to use your Bible. On the back of this page, it says, write the name of the person described. Use the Bible verses to help you. I am the father of Boaz. You're going to have to look in Ruth, or you could look at the genealogy in Matthew. And work down through those questions, finding out who is the person that it's describing. Then it says, complete the family tree using the people identified above. You're going to make a comparison from Boaz all the way down through David and then all the way to Jesus. So use your Bible to fill in these answers. Matthew chapter 1's genealogy will help you a lot as you complete the family tree at the bottom. Okay, and then for spelling today, we're on the last page of this lesson, page 113, and you have a writing exercise. It says, Leah and Leo are organizing the information for field day. They know they must write carefully to communicate what each family needs to know. So we've got the date, the time, and the place, and we have ideas for field day events. I want you to create 2 lists of events. Choose 5 events for each age group. An event may be listed for both groups. Check your work carefully. So as you look through the ideas for field day, decide which events would be best for the first through third graders and which events would be best for the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. And split them up. It does say you can use the same event for both groups if you'd like to, but I want you to really think about what kind of events would be best for littler kids and then what kind of events would be best for older kids. Please make sure you're writing in very neat cursive, practicing that cursive here with spelling, and then make sure that you have spelled all the words correctly.